With the real estate market taking a downturn, should you be putting your money in or taking your money out? Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us again this week. We are happy to have you joining us in studio at the Upper James office here. Today we have a pretty interesting topic, I think, that everybody assumes we know the answer to.
That's right. This is the most triggering topic right now.
It really is. And who knows, should you be buying? Should you be selling? Like, who has the crystal ball? Nobody does, right? When it comes to a situation like this, even we were, RBC did an economic update. We went to it and they, they made predictions of what's going to happen, but really who knows how it could land.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we wanted to talk about, and I'm sure you've heard about in the news in case you haven't, is that there is a real estate trust that just received $50 billion to invest into real estate this year.
Yeah. So Blackstone is preparing they've pooled a bunch of money and they're ready to go. So basically setting out what's going to happen in the market. They've put all their money together and they're ready to scoop up deals. Now, I think the other side of this is people are like, this could be a negative thing because what are they investing in? But they're investing in bigger units, not the single residential that me or you would be investing in.
That's exactly it. Like this $50 billion trust is basically what they're looking to do is scoop up properties in the downturn. They know that deals are going to be out there. So what this is saying, when you see a company that large scooping it up, what should that tell you? That should maybe say, okay, these people obviously know what they're doing. They're looking to scoop it up because they're interested in long-term gains. They're not looking for quick money, which in real estate you really shouldn't be.
Exactly. If you're looking at an investment, we always say 10 years. 10 years is your average mark, I think. And recessions, they've happened in the past, but the real estate market's always made a comeback. And if these guys are getting their money together, I think that says a lot.
It's absolutely it. And you pointed out another great thing, saying that they are going over these multi-residential units. Like these companies, everybody always hear it. Like, oh, do you find a lot of these companies are buying up properties and they're making it unaffordable and all that stuff? Listen, they're not taking $50 billion and buying a duplex on East 38th Street. Okay, they're taking the money and they're buying 200 units, 300 units, 400. They're buying these multiplexes, like you said.
Exactly.
So, and it's going to be diversified across different things, I'm sure, not just residential. I'm sure they're going to be doing some commercial, plazas, that sort of thing as well.
Yes. There was a huge percentage of it is going to residential, and then there's obviously the institutional and industrial, but I think there was majority of the chunk was going to residential. So that says a lot right there.
So good news and great news. The good news is that these investment companies feel confident that you should be investing in real estate right now. The great news is you don't even have to compete with them.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it. If you guys got more questions about this, if you guys actually have questions about how a real estate investment trust works, I know it's something, I don't know, I guess sometimes it's new to people. I always just assume people know what it is. But if you guys got questions about that, how an investment vehicle works like this, how we might even be able to help you with one, feel free to drop a comment below or reach out to us. We'd be happy to get back to you.
Absolutely.
Now, Brandy, let's tie this into something very local. And that is we just crossed the $1 billion mark in building permits in Hamilton.
Yeah, you got it. That's okay. The $1 billion mark with building permits in Hamilton. So last year was a record high in the past 10 years that they set. This year, as of 2022, we actually surpassed that by a few weeks. So what does that tell you right there? Even though the market has taken a downturn since the spring, winter, it's still rising in building permits.
And that's it. And the fact that, I mean, it shows growth in the city, which is fantastic. And one thing that I want to point out with a lot of these building permits, one of the biggest contributors was actually the McMaster University building residence, basically student residence, which is like an $80 million project.
Yeah.
So one thing to consider too, if you own a student rental, this may not be a bad time to unload it. Also, if you own a student rental, you're not aware that they're doing that licensing now. You have to get licensed. I got my neighbor across the street has 2 of them, and he's going through the process right now. if you're not aware of that, like this is going to affect your bottom line. This might be the time to liquidate your student rentals, and they're still selling for good value. You mentioned that. Right?
Yeah. So Westdale, around the McMaster University, is one of the largest student rental investment areas in Hamilton, I believe. I've lived there for a long time myself. I know. But anyways, I saw a unit come up the other day, still asking in the 900s. It might be a little far reach now. They were going for that back when the market was hot. But I think we're going to start seeing these.
Oh, they're going to be popping up. I already saw one that made me laugh. It was a 3+5 bedroom.
+5.
Yeah, meaning there's 3 bedrooms on the main floor and 5 in the basement.
I lived in one of these when those older houses, and the landlord literally threw up a wall between the dining room, the kitchen, the living room, and they're all turning into bedrooms. There's going to be tons of stipulations coming against them.
Definitely for the best that it's getting licensed. It's going to bring a little more control there, and also I think getting the license, if you do have a rental, is going to add value because then it's a legal student rental.
Yeah.
And then as well, another thing that's being built with this, the $1 billion, like the bulk of it is, was it 75% was residential units?
Yeah.
And a lot of these units are buildings. So, 270 unit buildings, 300 units, that sort of thing, 100 units, these big buildings that are being built. And that's obviously part of the reason they didn't expand the urban boundary vote, so you can't build out.
Yeah.
So now we're going up.
So what does that also mean? That means that single detached residentials, especially in the core areas, they're going to become higher value. It's just a matter of time, I think.
That's it. And it's like people used to say, don't buy land and not making any more of it. I feel like in Hamilton, we're going to have to start saying buy a detached house. They're not making any more of them.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's kind of going the other way.
Exactly.
Townhouses and that. And I mean, with the price of detached coming down the way it has, like it was 6.6% in July, it went down. I mean, it's a good time to pick something up. So you're just going to buy and hold it.
Yeah, I want to start looking at those carriage houses again. I know you're talking about those back in the...
Yeah.
You're like, didn't you have a client that had one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's that's definitely an option. But hey, anyways, anything else to add to that, Brandy?
I think that's it. Like there's a lot going on. Like Hamilton is booming, whether people believe it or not. I'm
Did we answer the question, should you invest or not? I guess we don't know whether it's a good time to invest, but when we start seeing these large companies,
exactly, no one can give you a clear cut. No one can give you a clear cut answer, but I think these kind of things prove it to propel it forward.
And the biggest thing is just to keep remembering that real estate is a long-term investment. It always has been. We got spoiled rotten over the last, I feel like 2-3 years where we were making, $100K a year in some cases, even more. I know people were. So those days are gone, and we're going to go back to a regular market, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyways, thank you so much for joining us this week. It's always amazing having you tune in and week out. If you like this video and content like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button or like the video, because then I'll push it out to more people that want to see information like this, especially about Hamilton. I don't see too many YouTube channels about Hamilton specifically, so I think we add great value there. If you know anybody talking or looking about real estate in Hamilton, tell them to pop a follow on us as well. Greatly appreciated.
There you go.
Thanks again so much for watching us, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, guys.